Hello and welcome to the Growth Handbook series. My name is Jacob. I'm software engineer at Meta. Previously, I was at Microsoft. I built a few products during my career and I spent over 2 years at Facebook Marketplace Growth Team. In this video series, I will share everything what I learned about growth. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button. This will give me a signal that this type of content is useful and I'll do more of it. You shouldn't focus on growth before you find a product market fit. Product market fit, or PMF, means that people actually find your product useful. It means that there is a fit for your product in the market. If you start growing your product too early, you might end up with users who'll try it once and never come back, even if you improve your product a lot. So that's why at the beginning, you need to focus on people with high intent who need your product the most. You need to find this small target audience who find like a big value in your product. That small imperfections here and there will not turn them off. How to determine whether you reached product market fit? Well, the most popular heuristic is to survey your customers about your product and ask them a question. How would they feel if they could no longer use your product? And give them 3 options. First one, very disappointed. Second one, somewhat disappointed. And the third one, not disappointed. If at least 40% of people say that they would be very disappointed if they could no longer use your product, that means you have product market fit. I strongly recommend you to check out website pioneer.app. They have a great course about finding product market fit that use that methodology. It goes through steps like, building a product thesis, finding your target market, and then emailing your customers and asking this very question, of course, at the point after you actually build the product and they start using it. So there is another way to measure product market fit, which is more data-driven. So you can look at your retention curves. A retention curve is number of users who started using your product in day 1 and who still is using your product in day 2, 3, 4, and X, depending on what kind of retention you're measuring, whether it's 7-day retention or 28 retention. So for example, if in given day you had 100 users, let's say that's day 1, you had 100 users on day 1, and then let's say on day 2 it dropped to 80. So only 80 out of 100 who used it on the day first still using it on the day 2. It's not total number of users. So like if you have new users on day 2, they don't count. You only count the users who were using it on day 1. And then day 3, let's say it goes down to 60 and then keeps going down. If you don't have product market fit, these numbers will just go down to 0. So that means all the users that you gained on that day, like you're just losing them. If you have product market fit, at some point that number will stabilize. So from these 100 users, maybe 10 or 20 will stay. So it means it will still go down on day 2 and 3, but then depending on your product and depending on the retention, how you measure it, it might be day 6 when it starts stabilizing, and then it doesn't go down anymore, and then maybe even it goes up. So let's say on day 5 you went down to 20, and maybe day 6 you have 21, maybe day 7 you still have 21. So that's a sign of product market fit. But of course, you cannot measure it only once. You need to look at this consistently. So for example, if you have a given month, and let's say you look at 7-day retention, you look at first day of the month and the retention from 1st to 7, then 2 to 8, 3 to 9, so on and so forth. And if you see that there is a consistent number of users who stay using your product, and again, depend what retention are you going, usually 20% retention is pretty good sign of product market fit. So it means that from the 100 users, if 20 will stay after, let's say, 7 days or 14 days, because that depends on your product. If your product is something that people use only once a month or once a year, so for example, TurboTax, right? Like people usually use it during the tax season, so like from, let's say, January through April, right? And these people will not be using this product in July because probably their taxes are done, they don't need it. But it doesn't mean that you're losing users. It just means that, your retention has to be measured probably year by year. So probably you need to see, who did your taxes in 2020, who is still doing 2021 and then 2023. Much harder to measure that retention, but this is the nature of their product. And there is also a third way to measure retention. The third way is pretty much saying that if you have product market fit, you know it. Because many times when you reach product market fit, there are multiple signals from different sources outlining that. So for example, people are talking about your product, people are reaching out to you with positive feedback, someone is posting about your product on Hacker News, so on and so forth. You see that the number of users is growing, like the total number of users, not like retention wise. And if you have multiple signals that things are going well, that probably means you have product market fit. Then you can just, confirm it with method 1 and 2, and you can survey your users, or you can look at the retention curves. But if you feel that there is real momentum build behind your product, that also means you have product market fit. So remember, don't start growing your product before you know you have product market fit. There are multiple ways to find out, which I talked about earlier in this video. And in the next videos, I'll be talking about different ways how to grow your product. If you made it that far, you probably found this video useful. If that's the case, please hit the like button. If you have any questions, please leave the comment. I will be very happy to answer. You can also subscribe to my channel to get notifications about new videos. If you want to learn more about growth, check out the links in the video description. You'll find there my recommended books about growth and link to my growth handbook.